Hello? Yeah, that's better. So basically I belong to this group, software competency group, and this group was formed in our company. Basically whatever Mr. Menon spoke in the beginning, to increase the portability and of the key resources in the company, this group was formed as a part of that strategic initiative, which is headed by me. And basically you increase the portability of resources to achieve the highest utilization, which is the objective of the top management or board members. So how we went about it, that is what I am going to explain. And one very good point that Mr. Menon spoke in the beginning was about demand supply. And we said, let us view this particular activity of increasing portability and increasing utilization of all the resources in the company is by taking the experience of some other company who has managed their demand supply chains much better than everybody else. And who else? I mean, we just thought of Toyota, and we said let's take some, because IT industry is relatively new. So we said let's look at the traditional industries who have been established and who have done lot of things successfully in past. Let us try to learn from their experience and try to adopt their strategy to IT industry. So this is how we went about it. We have actually a software competency group where almost 11,000 to 12,000 resources who need to be portable across 10 business units, 5 verticals and 5 horizontals. This particular group was formed, and the resource management group which was formed was specially trained for this particular activity, where we mapped the traditional industry practices with IT industry practices. And of course after that there were some concerns which we had to take care by refining or fine-tuning these processes, and went about implementing those. So these are basically this particular presentation is actually to train our people in these particular strategy implementation processes. So it has a lot of things, but wherever it is related to skills, I will spend a lot of time. These are the basic learning principles which Toyota management uses. What really forms basis is actually V4L principles. These are variety, velocity, variability and visibility. Now when Toyota looks at this concept of variety, they are actually talking about the different car models. What we said is, what is it that we are selling? The resource management group has internal customer, which is business units, project managers, delivery managers, where the teams are deployed for the customer projects. So these teams is something which is a product, and this team is formed by porting across the resources, doing lot of mix and match at the last moment. And these resource possess lot of skills, and each team is different because the team members possess different skills. So the skills breakdown or the mix and match that happens around these skills becomes very integral part of it. And what Toyota says is that you should have demand side and supply side, whatever you are building, you should have a balance. So that means certain demand, maybe you should decide as a matter of fact, they discontinue certain products and they decide to address certain businesses, because the first V, that is variety, is very much related to the third V, that is variability. If you have more number of products, different demand, that means more category of teams having varied demands, your processes will be much more variable, and as a result your operations may become little more inefficient. And the velocity, everybody knows in this industry that how important it is to form the teams as soon as possible using Kanban. One is just in time. You have to have a team ready which can be deployed on a project and resources start adding value from the day one. So the velocity, how fast you do this mix and match, and how you go about training and skilling people to achieve that. Visibility is that, they demand, Toyota demands that call it inventory. I won't call it is in a way human resource inventory, but I won't like to call it because a lot of sensitivities are attached to it, and these are the concerns, these are the which we have to take care by having specially trained HR. So HR training and administration, which also plays a main role in the background. And the visibility at when this human resource is moving from one project to other project and they are getting skilled, you should be having very good visibility as far as the snapshot of the organization is concerned, which I will explain you in detail. Now this is what is the physical flow when it comes to traditional engineering manufacturing industry. The recruitment happens at various levels. It happens for them, it is a supplier, they get parts. What we do is we have hiring in the beginning of the, in fact in the 7th semester only you have to actually recruit people who will join the company in the month of June, and they will become functional probably after 3 months basic training. So what becomes important is that how much visibility you have in the business scenarios 8 months down the line till 20 months, because that's when 8 months to 20th month is when they are going to enter the business units and actually become part of the teams which are being formed. So you should have a visibility. According to that, you should be recruiting resources from the college, and I think Nimish said that this is when you should have the breakdown of how many diploma holders you are going to have, IMS or testing service line, or which are the business units who can absorb diploma holders and DSCs, who need to have postgraduates and graduate engineers and certain background, maybe hardware or electronics or VLSI design or whatever. So Toyota actually believes a lot in having an annual calendar. So this is what we started doing, and then there is then they are recruited by HR. Moment we decide, HR recruits them. It is what they call, this is similar to our inbound logistics. Then there is a factory body and paint. In our case, that's when you decide there whether they will be in generic tracks. How do you reduce the variety of the product that is coming in and going out? To reduce the variety, what was specialized? What is specialized and what is generic? Something that was specialized probably 6-7 years ago becomes generic today. So how fast you convert specialized skill into generic? The requirement and you have only 40 people in the organization, it is specialized skill. But if you have 700, it is no more a specialized skill. It becomes common or generic skills. So having multi-skill, cross-skilling and reskilling on a mass scale, even when there is no requirement. What we have done is we have created charts that what is the specialized skill today, person having what basic skills can be trained in this skill. There is basic skill, there is advanced skill, there is specialized skill, there is niche skill. So Java person in TIPCO, but once the person is trained in TIPCO, the person can be trained on any of the other middlewares. So have as maybe you need to train entire Java population into TIPCO, because that's when that's when they are multi-skilled and their acceptability into different varieties or different types of project team will go up. This is the philosophy which we followed. And then there are emerging platforms. In addition to that, there are soft skills, because when they get accepted, sometimes the project managers are internal, sometimes they are external, there are interviews, they have to pass the interviews also. And this actually increases the readiness of the various teams to get deployed on the projects as soon as possible, leading to success in the it can become Kanban case study. Then you assemble. Once the team is formed, this cross-skilling, multi-skilling, reskilling is still happening before the team is formed. Once the team is formed, the actual, if it is an ODC or if it is an ongoing customer, if it is your key account, then you will already have customer specific training kits. There may be their processes, their practices. So that is the additional training which can be visualized as the assembly that happens of various forms till the final product is deployed on the project and starts contributing to the deliverables. And then they have outbound logistics and dealers. I will say PM, DMs can be visualized. The dealers who actually accept our teams and deploy on the various projects. Now the best practices in Toyota, they have a mixed planning. Now this mixed planning in our in fact we had to actually implement a mixed planning engine, because you need to have very in-depth analysis that 1 month down the line, which are the project teams which are going to be set up across the organization. 1 month down the line, 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line. It needs to have very good forecast engine also. And the forecast engine, usually it is a CRM which is used by CRM is used by most of the organization. The CRM should have a facility to enter the skills of the team that is required or that is to be deployed for a particular customer project or a prospect. And it actually starts from, and then that okay, 1 month down the line, 2 months down the line, these are the 55 teams which I have to form, and this is the skills mix for each of that project. So across the business unit, across the organization, what is my skills mix requirement? Because everybody knows that any reskilling, multi-skilling itself takes minimum 6 to 8 weeks. And after that there is a customer training. So you must have visibility into the skills mix that is required 3 months down the line, 4 months down the line, 5 months down the line. And then we should have a very good systems that what is my current snapshot of the skills mix in the company. How many of them are anyway going to be there on the build projects who are not going to be available for those projects? How and what skills mix is going to become available from the projects which are currently being run? And that gap analysis is what we need to focus on. And this in fact we had to work a lot with our MIS and multiple ERPs to reach to this type of drilling which we do on our data. And like sales and operations planning, this is what I mean, that we need to have a visibility right from that particular stage. Production scheduling, it is the calendar which I already spoke about. Parts ordering, managing the suppliers. This is basically going to various colleges, and Nagarjun said actually working closely with the colleges. If you know the skills mix, you can actually tell the college at that point in time itself that 100 of your people should be doing internship in this particular or this particular platform, or this internship or the project, in-house project or summer project they do should be in this, so that you can finally select out of that and take into your organization. I think logistics, dealer management, and so this is how we went about. I have explained it in short. So basically mapping it to the activities, and to do this across the organization, we actually the methodology which is similar to Jack Welch in GE went from company to company with his team and gave his own presentations. There were open house presentations where people can shoot the questions. So we formed a team in my software competency group who are basically have exposure to HR training, as well as they are very, very hands-on with project management related activities. So it becomes very easier for them to relate with what we are saying and accept it as on ongoing basis. And some of the skills, like it talks about elimination of obsolete technologies, because if we are able to foresee, we can reskill them immediately into the newer technology, which as per mixed planning there is a demand and there is a gap. Like I said, it was a generalization, so I think most of these things I have explained. Basically, the mixed plan that you have actually tells you a lot about how this organization is going to grow. The growth is going to come from which particular skill. So that also becomes very value added input. That we have created our own internal certifications, because almost every specialization or niche skills in which we want to train, there is a requirement of possessing some base level skill, then core skills and advanced skills. So we came up with internal certification, and when we decided to run it en masse, to make it very convenient for the resources who are already anyway deployed on the projects and working 8 to 10 hours, we have actually implemented most of these things in our internal portal e-learning basis, and we just tell them that while working on this project, you can spend 10 hours a week or whatever, and over next 2 months, then there are some face-to-face sessions and they get certified. And when we went around, selling this as a concept, there was somebody expressed, that learning, teaching doesn't result into learning. When we explain them the importance that, today you are working on the build assignments, but tomorrow where will you be? Unless and until you pick up, you may not be, and for that it is necessary to keep the learning going in the background. This is how we convince them. Explain most of these things. So actually in Toyota they have a beer game. All of you must be in most of the management institutes this beer game, to understand demand supply gap. We are planning to devise a game which will be maybe something to do with Java skills and .NET skills within our organization, and learn it and call management leaders and play it jointly with them. And these are some of the, somebody mentioned, like these are some of the crucial skills, cloud computing, web services. Now what happens is that when any new technology comes, this is also we keep on studying and identifying. When any new cloud computing is basically making product launches very fast and easy. Because of that, the team probably requires to have more content management, monetization or data management skills in addition to just cloud, because most of those projects require to have these. For example, Android. Most of the Android apps level development is not happening in the IT services company, but it is happening around the campuses where 17-year-old, 18-year-olds are actually developing these applications, and server level applications are coming to us. So maybe the different business models, this is what the team needs to be aware of. Data mining usually requires statistical and artificial intelligence methods to so that the team is able to, mainly the user organizations are deploying these technologies to find out the spot the patterns and trends in their businesses. So these are some of the skills which go hand in hand. Search and traffic analysis, with social network, digital marketing, these are virtualization, security. These keep changing with every technology, and business intelligence also. So this is what is, thanks a lot.